All right. Okay, so now let me see what's going on with this camera. Okay, there we go. All right. So hopefully everything's okay this time. Let me pop out the chat. So annoying. So annoying. All right, hopefully everything is okay now. Looks good so far. Okay, good. All right, good. Okay, so hopefully no weird glitches in the matrix or anything. Third time's a charm. So I'm not touching anything, not doing anything. Everything should be okay. All right, Zabor. Hey, what's up, Sniper Boy? How's it going, man? Good to see you again. What's up, Rays? Robert, Kawaii's which eighth? I'm so sorry, guys. Thank you so much for being patient. Yeah, everything under the sun was going wrong there, so we'll see. But yeah, so the guest I was going to have, Sarah, she was having a problem with her mic. We tried to do it through Skype. On Skype, it wasn't working. So it's okay. It just wasn't meant to be. So I told her, I said, don't worry about it. Just when she gets her mic fixed, she's going to email me, and we'll set up another time to set up and meet. Hey, Gleminda, how's it going? Yeah, so thanks, guys. Sorry about that. So let me know if you wanna jump in. We're just gonna hang out and chill. And there's actually a Now You See TV video that maybe we could watch together. It looks like it might be interesting. So let me know if you guys want to do that. That might be interesting. Let me see what the title. What are they talking about? They're talking about survivors of dark practices. So I have a feeling that might have to do with dark practices of the occult, because everybody who practices the occult are awful, terrible, horrible people who run around eating babies. Oh, and having oral sex too. You awful sinners out there having oral sex. How you're going to burn in hell, you know that, don't you? Let me see. Pixie Doo. Hey, Pixie Doo. Hey, Cece. Thanks for coming back. Sorry about the confusion earlier. Kawaii's Witch. Hey, Kawaii's Witch. Hey, Cat Magic is in here. Hey, Cat, how you doing? Hey, Cat, let me know if you want to join in. You don't have to turn your camera on if you're not feeling up to it. If you're sitting around in your PJs. Let me see. I know, really, exactly. Oral sex. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't grow up Christian. I didn't grow up with any of that kind of like, that feeling like, oh, it's bad. I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't touch myself. I shouldn't enjoy sex. I didn't grow up with any of that. So I feel very lucky for that, because I couldn't imagine like growing up with that kind of like guilt in the back of your mind. Ugh. So what is Yamet Kudasi? Whatever. So yeah, so let me know if anybody wants to join in, and we'll probably just I don't know, we'll talk about whatever comes up. So glad my mom was open. Yeah, I think it's important to be open about sex. I think especially when you're a kid, and you start you start getting into puberty, and you start like getting interested in boys or girls or whatever, and there's a lot of questions that come up, and there's a lot of like concerns, and there's a lot of, I think there's social pressure, and there's there's a lot of stuff that comes up, and I think it's very important that kids feel like this is a topic that they could talk about. They would feel comfortable to be able to talk to their teacher, or talk to their parents, or whoever about it. I think it's kind of a shame that we make it such a taboo subject, because it's important. I think it'll keep a lot of teenage girls and boys from getting pregnant. Well, not boys, they're not going to get pregnant, but keep a lot of teenage girls from getting pregnant. Everyone has different preferences. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, whatever it is you're into is okay. I mean, I always figure as long as whatever you're into, as long as you're with consenting adults and they're conscious and aware of what's going on, then hey, have at it. Whatever it is you like to do with however many people you like to do. Want to be on, but I don't have headphones. Yeah, so don't worry about it, Zabora. That's nice. Honey, use a condom. Exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing is birth control. Kids need to know about birth control, and I mean, like even how to put on a condom. I mean, especially like in the heat of the moment, if you're a guy and you're trying to fiddle with a condom and you've never put one on before, and you don't know how to put it on. If you flip it around the wrong way and you have the how the condom unrolls. If you put it in the wrong way so that the rolling part is underneath, and you try to do it that way and you're like pulling down on it, you're like, okay, this is not working. You have to flip it around and put it on the right way, and then you can roll it. So I mean, knowing how to put on a condom is important. Let me see. So Sniper Boy says, from a Christian perspective, anything in marriage is permissible, but you guys already know how I feel about anal. We actually don't know how you feel about anal, Sniper Boy, but that's you don't have to share that. But yeah, I don't know. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that of all the various types of Christians that you have out there, I'm sure most of them probably think that sex outside of marriage is a sin. But let me see. Off to feed SETI. Church teaching on masturbation is to show these feelings are natural and good. Yeah, okay, good. Heterosexual. But they must be effectively controlled. Kind of teaching self-control and being a master of yourself. So is that a comment for or against masturbation? I'm picking out a couple of key words in that sentence. Sniper Boy. Well, what about people who have homosexual tendencies? Or maybe people who are bi or curious? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I enjoy sex, therefore it controls me. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think that if you suppress something, I think it has more control over you than it does. Like most of the people I know who are open about their sexuality and open about sex they're not like running around fucking everybody, I mean, but they're pretty open about their sexual relationships, and they seem to, in my observation, they don't seem to be like out of control, like they're just running around. They just understand it, and they don't have a hang up about it, and they enjoy it, and they enjoy it with their partners, and whatever. God gives us sexual drives and urges because he created sex. There's a difference between suppression and control. Exactly. There is a difference between suppression and control. Lioness Star, hey, Lioness Star, thanks for coming back. Sorry about the confusion earlier. So hey, Sniper Boy, let me know if you want to come on and talk about. Maybe we can talk about oral sex and gay sex if you want. Do you want to talk about gay sex? I mean, I'm straight, but I'm open to talking about it. No, penis bad. Don't go inside the moist cave of love. Oh man, you're funny. You're funny, Zabora. So yeah, so let me know if you wanna join in, Sniper Boy. Let me see. And then I didn't hear from Kat if she wanted to join in. I'm good, not available. Oh, okay, that's all right. She's not available. That's all right. Let me see. So yeah, so earlier that the Sarah, the person who I wanted to get in on here, she was having a problem with her mic, and so that's why we tried to start the stream again. Hopefully doing it through Skype. So we tried it in Skype and still couldn't get her mic to work. So, you know, it was just a situation that just wasn't working out. So I told her, I said, well, hey, just, you know, you have an open invitation. When you get your mic fixed, email me. We'll schedule a new time. So we're going to leave it open. But she was pretty nice. You know, she was pretty open, and she, you know, so I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's still going to be a good conversation, and I'm looking forward to it, you know. And I think it'll be nice. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and just paste the link in the chat, and so if you want to join, just click it. And let me see. And yeah, so I don't really have a topic. But if Sniper Boy gets in here, we'll talk about gay butt sex and, you know, the ins and outs of that. And we'll go from there. Pro condom. I mean, do you use a condom during butt sex? Yeah, you should. Hey, Zabora, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I got to turn my speakers down because I had them way up earlier. Trying to
Are you
get
having a problem hearing me?
Huh?
Are you having a problem hearing me?
Well, yeah, because no, it's not on your end. It's on my end because I had my speakers way up, and then I turn them down too low. So I think it's okay now.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I don't have headphones. So I didn't know how this is gonna work out.
Yeah, no, I hear you fine, and I'm assuming the chat hears you too. So,
hello, everybody.
and Caitlin, hey Caitlin, how's it going? So that's what I was wondering. I mean, if you have anal sex, you should probably wear a condom. I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can say that I have had anal sex without condoms.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like there is preparations that you can make, like making sure that you have a bowel movement 2 hours before you have anal sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, lubrication is a must. So, you know, it just kind of depends on the person and the moment and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But condoms definitely, and definitely with strangers and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, because hey, Sniper Boy, how's it going? Yeah, because that's what I was thinking too. Like if it was a partner that you've been with a couple of times, I guess it's probably okay not to. But yeah, I agree with you. If it's like somebody who maybe you're just getting involved with and you don't know their whole history, I think it's probably a good idea.
Right.
Because I know, especially that's one way that AIDS is definitely spread is through anal sex. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's up, Sniper Boy? So what's your take on gay butt sex? What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but we kind of discussed this at length, you know, in the last. It was probably, man, time's flown. It's probably like in April. Sorry,
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I know, but your opinion hasn't changed, right?
No, and I feel like I just kind of want to. I feel like a lot of people think Christians are just like taught that like sex is like horrible, and they kind of like they have those like gloves that they put on little boys when they're like 7 years old, like handcuff their hands.
Right.
It might be that in some places, but at least with my upbringing, I was always taught that this is natural, this is good, but you can't, you can only, you enjoy it in the confines of marriage. And through life experience, that has proven itself, because if you're running around with all these kind of partners and you don't stick with one long-term relationship, that's marriage, I'd say, you kind of feel empty. And yeah, it's never good. When you base a relationship solely on sex, you kind of lose, I don't know, you kind of get sick of a person quickly, because that's all they're good for to you.
Wow. So, I mean, but do you, okay, so you just actually brought up a good assumption that you feel that other people make about Christians, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely recognize that, and I understand it. But on the flip side, do you think that people who don't have that Christian perspective, we're running around just having sex with people and we don't care about their feelings?
Wait, what do you mean?
So you had mentioned about that if you're a Christian and you have sex with a partner instead of like multiple partners,
yeah,
and if you are having sex with people, you need to respect them and understand their feelings, and right? Or did I hear you incorrectly?
Well, I honestly believe sex should only be in the confines of marriage, because there's a Christian thought that when you have sex with someone, it talks about in Genesis, when you have sex with someone, you kind of unite with them, become one flesh. So if having sex is meant to make a couple closer and to like bind them, and have children as well. So if you're doing that outside of marriage, it's kind of sometimes Christians will say you're soul tied to somebody if you have sex with them. So it's not good to do before marriage, because you get too involved with somebody that you haven't made a true commitment with.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, so from a Christian, is there a certain sect of Christianity that believes that, or is that kind of like, is that a pretty much across the board generalization?
Yeah.
Okay, so generally speaking, most Christians believe that you have to get married first before you have sex.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So, but how do people feel about having sex outside of marriage?
How do people?
Well, I'm sorry. You're right. That was way too general. How do Christians feel about that?
It's just the wrong thing to do, and just the repercussions. Like if you can't have a child with the person you're having sex with, then why are you even doing it? Because if someone has had pregnancy scare before, not too fun.
Oh man.
I can physically feel Zabora doing face palms.
I'm just saying. Oh man, her mic just went crazy. I don't know if you heard that.
Was that you, Zabora?
I don't know. Did it flip out?
I don't know.
I think my phone is even mad at that statement.
I don't know. It was somebody's headphone.
Someone's like screaming in the background.
I think it's actually Ray.
I'm like, dang. I didn't think I said something that bad.
Yeah, Ray's you sound like a chipmunk on speed.
Yeah. It's not Ash Wednesday, boy.
I know. I think it's a part of a summer solstice event he went to. So Ray's, I don't know what's going on with your mic. Yeah, Ray's is going to reconnect. He sounded like a chipmunk on speed. So, well, okay. So I understand that perspective about Christians, and I agree with you. I think that people do kind of maybe think that Christians are a little more uptight than they should be about it. Hey, Cece, how's it going? But from my perspective, I personally fully enjoy sex, and I've enjoyed sex with people who I'm not married to, and
Damn right.
it's not a thing like I'm just using them for sex. I mean, we develop a relationship, we have a friendship, we, you know, all of this stuff, and then we just engage in sex too, you know, and explore different things, and we really enjoy it. And personally, I could never imagine myself getting married to someone without first having sex with them. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I think that's a very I think marriage is a very committed and personal and very important decision that people make.
Mhm.
And I think that sex is an important part of it. If you're not compatible on various different levels with another individual, there's no point in getting married. And I think
Gotta
that
milk the cow
physically as
before you
well,
buy it.
you know.
So can you hear me? Am I still a chipmunk?
No.
Very.
Yeah. So we're all wondering, Rays, what is on your forehead?
Okay, so I went to a midsummer bloat. It's supposed to be a Fehu. That's a rune. It's the
Oh my god.
associated with Freya. Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up Fehu, isn't it?
It is. It's really
Okay,
weird. I'm
so
sorry.
there was a lot of drunkenness, and there was some face painting, and there was a frog dance, and there was jumping over fire, but all of the tomfoolery was separate from the bloat. The bloat, with the exception of one dude, the bloat was very. It was it was very sober. We'll say that.
Okay.
Did you have fun?
Oh, I had tons of fun. I had a crazy amount of fun. See, I didn't think anyone would actually do the frog dance.
What is the frog dance?
It is a very, very silly dance they do for midsummer in Sweden. And while certainly the Swedish midsummer festivities have pagan origins, yes, they dance around the maypole, the frog dance itself is just a really silly dance that, you know, you sing about how the frogs don't have horns while you put your hands over your head, and then you put your hands behind you and sing about how frogs don't have tails, and then you hop 3 times. It's ridiculous. And everyone
cool.
does this in a circle. It's nuts. It's hilarious. It
So it
helps when
sounds-
you're drunk.
There's another silly dance that people do, like at weddings. I forget what it's called. If it's a polka dance or something, but they kind of they do the same thing. It's like this whole silly choreography that goes along with it. Is it kind of like that?
I don't know what dance you're talking about, but yeah,
Yeah, I
it
know.
is the same sort of thing. The whole point of it is to be silly.
Oh my gosh, right after the
Down to
morning
the
dew.
tarantella.
Sorry, say that again, Sniper.
Oh, like the tarantella, at weddings. It's like
Oh.
around a circle.
That might be the one I was
Oh,
talking
okay.
about. Yeah. The chicken dance.
Oh,
Dun, 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 dun. Come on, you guys know it.
yeah. Da 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 da
Exactly,
da.
yes.
Yeah.
The chicken
I haven't
dance.
heard it since 3rd grade.
So Rays, do they put a midsummer pole up? Do they put a maypole
Yes.
up for midsummer?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It was fairly tall, but unfortunately the midsummer pole itself was kind of plain. There wasn't like a couple of wreaths on the side or anything. It was just a pole. You know, it was a big wooden pole.
Oh, okay. Because I
Little
know
crappy
traditionally,
Lisa.
yeah, because traditionally in like England and Ireland and other places like that, they put up a maypole, but that's on May Day.
Right. Well, you know, yeah, I mean, and I know the Germans and the English tend to do ribbons, while the Swedish,
Right.
they do 2 wreaths on it.
Okay.
And I've seen ones that look like crosses too. Now, well, the maypole is basically representative of a giant penis. So,
Really? Are you
yeah.
sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. I've read it several places.
No, not phallic at all.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So, but Yeah, I know the Swedes put it up for Midsummer, and I think other people do too. But yeah, I know a lot of people, it is a May poll, so it's a May Day kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just curious, just because I've never heard about people doing it for Midsummer, but I mean, who knows? I mean, there's sometimes a lot of various holidays will kind of get, sort of like bumped ahead or behind, depending upon what other cultures sort of interact with them. I mean, like a lot of the Christian holidays and pagan holidays tend to fall around the same time because, they get moved around by the church and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So yeah. So how's it going, Cece?
A lot of here gone, a lot of struggle. Just stuff and Spencer Boy is ruining my life.
You have not begun to struggle.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Sniper is just making it so annoying. Why you do this?
Love you, Snoop.
No,
How's he being
Oh,
annoying? He's not
sure.
doing anything. He's just sitting there on his phone, minding his own business.
you didn't
Oh.
see it. You didn't see it. You did see it, but you didn't know what it was.
A friend of mine
Why?
gave me.
Yamete Kodasai, even though I said, I miss you. And he said, stop it, which is very hurtful to my feelings.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I just know Konnichiwa. That's the
Yeah,
only
konnichiwa.
Japanese I know.
I thought you were asking this.
The only thing I know are mostly insults in other languages. So if I'm ever dropped off in the middle of somewhere, I'm really screwed.
You guys have
Just be like, Damare baka.
you guys have,
Exactly.
magic languages like that are like made up that you like speak.
Damare baka.
Not really. I mean, there's Pig Latin, but I think most like school kids know about that language. No, there's no real magical languages that
What about
I'm aware of that people speak.
That was
Huh?
do you know what Enochian is?
Enochian,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that was like in a movie I saw. It was like some like really crappy like B-rate, but it was funny.
Yeah, there was a guy named John D. and another guy named Kelly who communicated to a angel who they believe was from the book of Enochian, and the angel talked to them and gave them the Enochian alphabet and the Enochian language. So yeah, you can speak Enochian. There are ceremonial magicians who do speak in Enochian. But as for its origins, I think it probably, and this is my assumption, my interpretation of it, I believe that it was because it's very common for a lot of occultists and magical ceremonial magicians to write in weird languages in their grimoires for safety reasons. And so I think that Enochian key was a language that they had been using, and they just made up that story to just sort of like, make it sell.
What about the one from the Fifth Element? What about that? What about Lilu?
What about what?
What about Lilu from the Fifth Element? What about the thing that she did?
Well, what about it?
Oh my god. You guys are so ancient.
I'm aware of the Fifth Element, and I'm aware that she had her own language, but I'm not sure what. Are you talking about conlangs, like Klingon and Quenya and stuff? Or?
I was just making a joke. You guys suck.
Wow, you're the worst comedian ever. Then.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, just like that Fehu rune on your forehead.
Yep, the worst Fehu imaginable. It's like, this is not going to bring me prosperity. This is probably going to make me dirt poor.
Freaking derpy summer over here.
Yeah. The derpiest.
Yeah.
Derpy squid Fehu on your forehead.
Derpy squid pay you. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I got free Russian textbook from a friend of mine. So, and
so are you learning Russian?
I'm gonna start trying to teach myself Russian. I'm a masochist.
you know anybody who speaks Russian?
No.
Okay.
Well, Cindy speaks a little bit of Russian because this was her textbook. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to actually find people with whom to practice.
Exactly.
But I'm going to later on give her my beginner's Icelandic book because I did not ever use that Icelandic book, and she mentioned wanting to learn Icelandic. So,
yeah. Well,
win-win.
Because if you learn a language and you know somebody who speaks the language, it makes it so much easier.
Right.
Because I wanted to learn Irish Gaelic, and I tried to teach it to myself, and I even bought the tape and everything, and you have to know somebody who speaks it. What was that, Sniper?
You can get Duolingo. They actually have Gaelic now. There was like an article about it, that how it's like saving the language.
Yeah, when I went to Ireland, they have like everything is in English and Gaelic. It's fantastic. So like when you're on the train, you hear the announcer, and they speak in Gaelic and then they speak in English. So yeah, I mean Gaelic was pretty much almost wiped out in Ireland. But it's definitely been making a resurgence because especially when the English took over Ireland, they outlawed the language.
England.
Gesundheit.
So what's the topic for tonight?
Well, the topic for tonight was to talk with that lady, but it didn't happen. So we're just kind of I don't know. Do we have a topic?
We could mock that video you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Talk about Sniper's hair.
Talk about Sniper's hair,
bro.
Let's do that.
Let's talk about your hair, Cece. Let's talk about your hair. Why is it pink?
We don't know.
It's called hair dye in anime and freaking fan fiction.
I know, but why is it that way?
I just like pink, man.
I know, but no, I'm not talking about the color anymore. I'm talking about the style. Why do you have that style of hair?
Because it reminds me of Lulu from The Fifth Element.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's both, hers is orange.
Okay.
Anyway.
so yeah, we could watch that if you guys want. Let's see. Oh, they have.
Yeah, I've always wanted to take the piss out of a video with you.
Okay.
That sounded wrong.
Take the piss. Well, better than taking the piss out of me.
Oh, well, yeah, for sure.
All right, let me get my microphone set up so we can do that.
Poor Sniper, he doesn't get to take any of the action. He's just not getting anything, any part of the action.
Huh?
You better not be getting no action.
I'll jump in.
Cece, leave Sniper Boy alone. He's minding his own business.
You don't even go on camera, so you can't tell me.
Exactly. He's got the courage to show his face and his hair.
Bullocks. Straight up bullocks. I just don't feel like it today. Straight up bullocks.
Oh, she's showing. Oh, face reveal. I hope you guys took screenshots.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna spread that face all over the internet.
Exactly. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You can see it?
Survivors of Dark. Oh, this should be good.
Oh yeah.
Look at Fatso.
Here we go.
Look at Alucard.
Does have the answer for everything.
Oh,
And
Papa Smurf.
average Christians, of which I consider myself the most average, when we just have a desire to help people and minister the gospel to them, the Lord will help us. He certainly will. And I remember when I first got a glimpse of this thing, and we were just kind of like Greg, we've were thrown into this thing. And I went down, and I'll tell on myself a little bit here, and I'm a lot more smooth now. I want everyone to know. But I went down to a flea market, and I bought the biggest crucifix I could find. And I got me a King James Family Bible.
Hey, Sniper Boy, is that a thing? Is there like a status for who has the biggest crucifix?
No, not really. But I like this guy. He seems like a happy man.
Yeah, he is. He's like a big happy Buddha.
Like my.
I mean, I had me a big one with a big cross on
He had himself a big one.
the front, and I was.
It's like he's compensating for something.
He's going through a midlife crisis. He's compensating, buying big crucifixes, solid gold ones.
Cro-Magnon man of deliverance ministry, and I was out and I was off to get them. But I think that it is very, very true. And Greg, what would you say to someone? And we've got a lot of people listening that really do have a heart and that really do care. What can individuals do that want to get involved and do something about satanic ritual abuse?
Oh, no. It is. It's about satanic ritual abuse.
Did he say abuse?
Yes, satanic ritual abuse.
We're abusing our satanic powers.
All right, it's not like you can use it as like you can use it responsibly. Like, please use satanic rituals responsibly. You're either for it or you're against it.
Well, yeah, but he's actually talking about a very specific thing where he claims that people are actually being either sexually or physically abused during a ritual that is supposed to be satanic.
Right. And then what'll happen when you press these people, like, you know, where are the news stories about this, about XYZ case? Where are the case files? You know, why isn't the FBI saying something about this? Then they get into, well, you see, it's a great big conspiracy, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, so I agree with you, Sniper Boy. If this stuff, because I've done research on this, if there was actually satanic ritual abuse going on, there would be the FBI and the CIA and the local police would be all over it.
Oh, you're talking about like in like a coven or something, like abuse,
yes,
you know?
yes, yes, yeah. See, that's what people believe. People believe that people like us, who are occultists, pagans, witches, Satanists, stuff like that, are running around like killing people or sacrificing babies or sacrificing animals or whatever. And we don't do that. There are some traditions like Santeria that do sacrifice chickens, but that's their practice. That's their traditions. Most witches don't. They don't do that. I mean, if they do, like, let's say for a meal, like if they sacrificed a pig or something, they're going to eat it. It's not just like they just do it for the hell of it as a torture method.
Yeah.
I think prayer is the most important thing. Don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and spiritual wickednesses in high places. And so we have to know that that's where the battle really lies, that it's not against people. And so that's the biggest thing people can do, is to pray against the forces of darkness that are systematically shredding the very fiber of this country. And that's my biggest thing. There's other ways they can get involved. They can educate themselves, read some of the books, get the film to festival. But I think prayer is the thing. It's the one thing that really can't do anything about that. You know, if you're armored up, there's nothing he can do. And so prayer is the most powerful weapon we have in this war.
And speaking of young,
I think we have a chipmunk on speed again.
It's not me this time.
Uh-oh.
Chat.
Is that you, Zabora?
I'm scared right now.
Wasn't you, huh?
Where's my knife?
Did somebody else join the chat?
Yeah, Chat said
All right, that is so creepy. That is
Uh-oh. Oh, it's Kat. Hey, Kat, you're You sound like
You're
a chipmunk.
chipmunking.
Try
Cat,
Ray,
you sound like a chipmunk.
Canadian demons.
Raise. How did you fix it?
I logged out of the chat and then I logged back in.
Okay, so hey, Cat, try that. Try logging out. Logging
Close
back.
the chat, then reopen it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at it's like infinite loop.
Yes, exactly. So hey, Cat, try disconnecting and reconnecting. In the meantime, Cat, no offense, but I'm gonna mute you. Okay, she did herself. Hopefully she'll be back because it sounds like I don't know, some technology is just not working tonight.
We can always blame Loki.
Yeah, really. Blame Mercury, Loki.
See, this is why we're not the Illuminati. None of our technology works. I thought we were supposed to be in control of this.
Hey,
Right. We're supposed to be like involved in running the world or something.
hey,
Yeah, don't we control the media?
not a Christian president. We can't let the cat out of the bag.
You're not in the Illuminati if you're on this, because they're super rich and don't have time to.
Oh, we are so the Illuminati. we got meetings and everything. Yep.
I
Okay.
got a card.
Secret handshakes and Dakota rings.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Men that have a heart to deal with difficult issues. I'm going to put Jake on the spot.
Uh-oh.
And John Pounders, who's just
Pounding away.
Man in his 30s himself. We forget how young John is because he does such a tremendous job. But John produced a documentary on the Blue House case that we were involved with.
Which, by the way, the police, they did an investigation of it, and there was nobody who was convicted of anything because it was insufficient evidence.
The early 90s called Dark Covenant, which is also really, really worthwhile, tremendous job he did. And now Jake is producing Dark Covenant 2, which is dealing with vampirism. And Jake, what in the world, besides John, got you
Hey, Bill Snowden will be starring in it.
Where you wanted to deal with such a rough topic?
Well, whenever we look at the example of a lot of satanic ritual abuse, we see that the people perpetrating the abuse are trying to draw some sort of vitality, some sort of magic from the abuse that they're doing to these children or to their victims in order to draw some semblance of long life. Or
so in my 37 years of studying the occult, talking with people from various traditions, I have never, ever come across any ritual that I know about that involves any form of vampirism from some kind of a victim of sexual or physical abuse. There are people who believe that they are like psychic vampires, and even people who believe that they are vampires, but there's actually no ritual that involves this. So if people are doing this, they're idiots.
I agree. I was going to ask where he got his story from.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they're just making up a religion and just calling it a thing, making shit up, basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, so whatever it is, it's not satanic. It's some other weird thing. But even so, there would be evidence for it. There would be FBI reports. There would be something about it. So either it is a huge conspiracy and involves all kinds of law enforcement around the entire world, or it doesn't exist and it's all made up.
These awful rituals.
My money is on the latter, by the way.
And if you look at the topic of vampirism, it kind of parallels this whole idea of satanic ritual abuse, where the person, who's practicing the ritual is trying to gain immortality or gain long life or gain some sort of power from these awful rituals. And so,
again, there's no ritual that I know of that involves anything like that.
we took a trip to Iowa and interviewed William Schnoebelen, and that was
Oh, dear.
Exactly.
because he had a
Okay, can I just ask, like, who is this guy? Like, I always hear you guys talking about him.
William Schnoebelen is a person who claims to have been a witch. He claims to have been in the Illuminati, and I'm not joking. He claims that he was in the actual Illuminati. He was a member of the Illuminati. He also claims to be, a vampire, a
To
Satanist.
have lived
a
on
free-
blood for a year and nothing else but blood in communion wafers for a year.
Exactly. Yes. He actually says that he lived off of human blood for 18 months and lived. And also, I'm wondering who was supplying this blood to him. This is what he claims. William Schnoebelen is insane. It's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
But if you're really interested in him, Sniper Boy, just type in William Schnoebelen in Google, and all kinds of various things will come up.
I think if they probably would have laughed him if he was real, but since he's still, that's insane.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a high-ranking member of the Illuminati. He wasn't just like a little tiny peon.
Get whacked.
He was up there with the big boys, apparently.
a lot of experience.
And also he was a voodoo priest. I forgot that. That's added to his resume.
In the occult where he got.
So all the things. He was a druid, a Wiccan, a vampire, a voodoo priest. He said he was a Satanist too, right?
Yes.
When did he claim voodoo priest? I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, he claimed. Yeah, he announced it on one of these episodes. I forget exactly which one. I'll see if I can. Huh? I'll see if I can find it for you, Zabora.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's the recent addition to his resume.
Oh, okay. That's the newest slide. Got it.
It's hard to keep up with them all, I tell you.
We was raised by the little boy.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an Excel sheet going on my computer, but it's still hard to keep up with everything.
Through the mindset, many of these people who are part of satanic ritual abuse or part of cults that do it, kind of walked us through their mindset of why it is that they're getting into this practice in the first place. And I think
if anybody is actually doing this, please report them to the police or the FBI. Bring it to some authority. So if this is actually happening, which again I don't believe it is, these people can be arrested and tried for crimes against humanity. So please, if you know anything about it, report it to the police.
This Dark Covenant Part 2 about real vampirism and really historically what is the whole practice of vampirism and blood rituals, and how does that tie to things that we see today? I think it's going to bring a lot of interesting information out on the topic, because it's something that seems to be so downplayed in pop culture. I mean, for example, vampirism is so incredibly glamorized, beautified by our culture. It looks at like something that, we want our kids to dress up as vampires or, in ghoulish costumes during Halloween. And that's that's what the society has been deceived into looking at it as a very minor thing that is not based in fact or history. But whenever we look historically at Canaanite blood rituals, the infanticide that went on during the times of the Israelites, and
infanticide was not practiced by the Canaanites, nor was blood ritual.
Also other ancient cultures, we can see that this idea of drawing energy or abusing children or abusing people in order to gain long life is something that you can see parallel through many cultures, and it even exists today and is glamorized in our culture through various movies and TV shows and stuff. So that's kind of what the Dark Covenant Part 2 is going to be about. We're going to really kind of crack the can open with that and try to shed some light on a very dark topic that a lot of people aren't aware of.
Is the chipmunk on speed back?
She's muted.
I think her mic is muted.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Drug is something they need to be on their knees praying for. So
Now, just on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to ask you one more thing here, Jake. On a scale of 1 to 10, how widespread do you believe vampirism is among the youth as far as the actual blood drinking rituals? How prevalent do you think it is?
well, there is evidence that this is something that goes on in many major cities. We see that in the past it was a bit more underground for people to meet up for mutual blood drinking. But just in the short amount of research we've done since starting the documentary, we find that there are clubs that advocate mutual blood drinking. Modern vampires.
Could you name one, please?
And for that matter, yes, there are people who do drink each other's blood. There are donors and there are people who identify as vampires who drink blood. The safety, I am not one of them. Safety is a big thing with these people. It's a big thing in the vampire culture. And any club, though, would not allow people to do that inside the club because that is a liability. They would kick people out of the club for doing that.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about voluntary people. Okay. First of all, what is the medical history of these people who are drinking blood? You cannot drink human blood. You just can't. It'll make you you'll get sick from it.
Well, you can drink a small bit of it. Now, it's not something I'm advocating for. I'm just saying it is something that some people voluntarily do.
So you're probably talking about like a little bit, not like a couple.
Yes,
of drops.
exactly. Yeah. So for some people, it's a sexual thing. For some people, they well and truly believe they get energy from it. And then but it's a consensual kind of thing, and they know they're unusual, and they're not gonna just walk in your house and start drinking each other's blood or something, But then I have a live and let live attitude. My only concern is for safety.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't agree to something like that, but
no, neither would I. But
it sounds like a very small portion of people who do.
Right, but but even though there are people who do, and I will acknowledge it, it's voluntary. They're not sacrificing people. They're not sacrificing animals. They're not attacking people. It's in fact, some people who say they're psychic vampires, some of them just absolutely decry blood drinking too, and clubs just wouldn't tolerate people drinking each other's blood. No, they'd be sued. They don't want to. They don't want to touch it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's a good way to get diseases too. So.
Right.
Snowy's expression was my spirit animal. That expression was my spirit animal right there. That was my spirit animal.
Okay, Cece. I've personally never seen outside of TV shows.
Huh?
I've personally never seen blood drinking outside of TV shows.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you look into Michel Ballinger and Father Sebastian, I think he's Father Sebastian again. I know about some weird subcultures. So, yeah.
I know who she is. She's that psychic vampire, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah. So I know. I'm just saying, I don't think that that's a very large populace. I think it's a very, very small culture. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I've personally never encountered that.
Oh, sure, it's tiny. I've never encountered it outside the internet.
Okay. Thank you, Rays. You made a good point. Thank you. Let's get on with this.
By that terminology, they go by sanguinarians. And whenever you're looking up somebody who's a practicing blood drinker, you have to use their terminology because they view it as just a scientific wonder that they're addicted to drinking blood. And of course, this is just the people on the top of society that are vocal about their blood drinking. And for sure, there's these processes going on in behind closed doors in a lot of these cults that are also practicing blood drinking according to their ancient rituals.
Who is vocal about their blood drinking?
Whoever,
Exactly.
whoever he thinks he's been talking
I
to.
think we all saw the same documentary.
Yeah, really. And whatever. There's no ancient ritual.
Not that I've come across.
And how would you compare? How much more likely would a high school student today be likely to be involved in something like vampirism or activity that would lead to SRA? How much more prevalent or likely is that now than back in the 80s?
It's hard to get a real gauge on it. In some ways, it seems to be less prevalent than it was in the 80s because it doesn't have the shock value that it had in the 80s. So if it does go on, it's a little more acceptable, maybe not talked about too much. The youth culture today is more drawn towards atheistic Satanism than they are some of those other things. That seems to be the thing that we're seeing the most is those that just say, well, I'm a Satanist, I don't believe in God or the devil. The devil is Satan is a principle to me. We see a lot of that happen.
Huh?
Where are they hanging out? Because Satanists are few and far between when I talk to magical practitioners.
Yeah,
I want to know where the Satanists are.
yeah, but for example, most people who are of the Church of Satan are atheistic. They don't believe in a God. They don't believe in an actual Satan. And then you have other splinter groups who actually do look towards Lucifer as a historical being. For example, like Set, the Temple of Set, and other Satanist groups. But those are usually those are splinter groups, and they don't actually believe in Satan as a personification like it is in the Bible. They see that type of figure in various mythologies, and it's a deity that it's a deity sort of like in the pantheon of other deities, like Set in the Egyptian pantheon, or Hades in the Greek mythology.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, he's acting like he's talking to a bunch of witches, and they're all saying they're Satanists. So I want to know where he's talking to all these Satanists, because it's very rare to come across a Satanist, even in today's day and age.
Yeah.
But do you believe these people have actually talked to real Satanists and real witches? Do you think they actually took the time to go and talk to a large group?
No.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of practitioners of pagan religions, practitioners of magic, are actually annoyed by Satanists. I don't necessarily think they should be, but a lot of them are. So it's just different things.
Right.
Not everyone is as lucky as Sniper.
But I don't think any of these people actually took the time to actually go out, reach out, and talk to various people who actually practice the occult, or who are witches, who are Satanists.
What do you think about Satanists, Sniper Boy?
Like atheistic Satanism?
Zabora, he's asking you a question.
I couldn't hear him. What was that? I said, what do you think about Satanists?
Like the doctrine, do what you want?
Well, well, just in general, I guess. Do you think that that's like, what, do you agree with these guys?
No, I think they're very sensationalizing and not giving any like evidence, which is a no-no. So I would err on the side of caution. There are a lot of people who just do stuff to get views.
Yeah.
One of them, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, it's probably like witches and occultists. You know, we all have our various different opinions about things, and it sounds like a lot of Christians are the same way. There's like these people who are very like just kind of like sensationalizing it and trying to make some money out of it, and they're more busy trying to manipulate and control other people rather than working on their own spirituality and their own relationship with their belief in deity. So yeah, so I can see what Sniper Boy's saying.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like he's supposed to be the Christian, and we're all pagan. So what does he think about the topic of Satanism?
Right. Yeah. I see. All right, let me start the video up again.
Of course, they're making a real move right now to get on every canvas they can where there's a Bible club and set up a little Satan club. Part of me just thinks, this is so silly. It's just like, come on. And another part of me, just like, this is a distraction in some ways to what's really going on. And, as you guys know that know me, youth ministry has been the most important thing in my life. Since I first got into ministry. And I'm very, very disturbed by the fact that we have let youth ministry in the country. I don't want to get too far off track, but here's my little whatever. It's become entertainment.
Where's the chalk kids? We need to draw a pentagram on the walls.
What?
Where's the chalk kids? We need to draw a pentagram on the walls.
No, you do that in blood.
You bring kids in, you give a lot of games, you give whatever, and then you give them a little Jesus snack at the end. And that's supposed to raise warriors against what's out there. It's extraordinarily disturbing because once the devil really gets out of the jack in the box in this culture, we better have a generation of kids that knows how to fight spiritually what's coming. Because it's going to come in the form of Satanism and vampirism and Wicca and 1,000 other manifestations. Pedophilia is coming to a younger and younger generation.
Wait, hold on a second. Don't put all those things in the same sentence.
Pedophilia equals witchcraft?
Well, I was just thinking, hello, like you mean pedophile priests? That's been going on forever.
Really?
Pedophilia equals Satan? Everything equals Satan, but pedophilia equals paganism? Think about it. This is an honest question. Pedophilia equals paganism because Satanism equals pedophilia.
I mean, yeah, that's what they're implying is that pedophilia is involved with this because it's all satanic. And there are victims of satanic ritual abuse. And part of the satanic ritual abuse is pedophilia and drinking blood of children. I mean, it is just so fucking annoying because all of these activities are illegal, obviously, and wrong. So if there are people doing any of this stuff, they need to be reported to the police. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're witches. I don't care if they're pagans. I don't care if they're Christians. I don't care if they're atheists. I don't care if they're fucking Martians from the moon. If they're doing it, they need to be reported to the police, period. But there's never been any actual evidence of this shit happening. They tried this stuff in the 80s, and they're doing it now again. There's no evidence.
Bill Copeland's a vampire. He told me that he ate the blood.
Exactly.
And they will be advocates of it at some point.
I mean, for example, remember that video that I did on Kenny Klein?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here was a guy who was in the pagan community who was downloading child pornography. The police found it on his computer and arrested this man. So there you go. There's an example of somebody who's doing illegal activity in our community. He was found by the police, arrested. If they actually believe that pagans and Satanists are protected by the Illuminati, why was this guy arrested?
Oh, he's just a showboat.
A fall guy?
Yeah, he's a fucking scapegoat.
Okay.
Gotta kill one for many. Gotta
Right,
kill that
exactly.
one guy to help everyone else.
Exactly. Yep. He was wearing a yellow shirt, that's why. Star Trek reference for all you young.
Do you
I am
red
young.
shirt?
Explain it.
Oh, Cece, you don't get it?
I don't get it either.
I
No,
think
I
you mean
don't.
red shirt.
I
Red
come
shirt.
back from the Marilyn Manson era, not this crap.
Oh god.
Everybody
So,
in a red shirt dies on that show.
I thought it was the. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, the yellow shirts were the ones who lived.
Yeah,
the
in,
red shirt
in,
who died.
Theo, in the original series, yellow shirts were command, and blue shirts were like science and medical, and red shirts were like technical and marks for death.
Ah, good. Thank you. We got a Star Trek nerd on.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Derby Fahu is the scapegoat now.
Yes, I am.
Huh?
Derby Fahu is scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. We need to get out there and learn how to fight, or we will lose this generation.
Yeah.
Yes. Strap on your armor and go out there into the battlefield and
Wage jihad.
you really have fun swinging your sword at yourself. I love how they believe there's a spiritual war going on and we're not involved.
I hope extreme Christians die out. I hope they're
Amen.
right.
Tell me now, then, Zabora.
Right. Well, what this sounds like, honestly, is
Okay.
jihad.
Kill
Just
one for the protection of us by sniper.
Thankfully, these people just don't have the cojones to wage actual jihad. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I can
Thank you.
extremists like these guys, like the guy that went into the pizzeria and like demanded to know where all the little boys were in the basement. You know,
Oh,
not
for
the
the
extremism.
well, actually, Rays, they did do that. They did do a jihad
Really?
between the 13th and 16th century.
Oh well, okay, but these people aren't from the 13th through
No,
the
they're not.
16th century.
But I mean,
You mean
yeah,
the
right,
Salem
exactly.
witch trials?
No, there was. I don't think anyone was actually killed in the Salem witch trials. They were tried, but I don't believe. I could be wrong, but I don't believe anyone died. But in Europe, a lot of people died because they're believed to have been practicing witchcraft and a heretic.
Well, I know that one man died by being pressed to death while he was being interrogated, but I'm not sure.
In America?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the Salem trials. He was like the one guy that was killed during the Salem trials, and it was an older gentleman.
Hmm.
Supposedly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, because the Salem witch trials were actually very brief. I mean, in the time frame of the witch trials compared to Europe, I mean, in Europe it lasted nearly 400 years. So
Yeah.
here we're actually it was like only a couple of years or a year. It was very brief. I actually haven't done that much research on the Salem trials.
God's start a happy church. I mean, he is just absolutely sick to death with it. And I've seen, and I know you have too, people destroyed that tried to deal with this. It's rough stuff. And I know Lauren Stratford was a very fine lady that was destroyed by just vicious attacks from Christian ministries, Christian apologetic ministries. And that is one thing. The overt opposition from professing Christian quarters. But what about misinformation? Misinformation on the part of other ministries that are presenting themselves as dealing with SRA. I wonder if you could speak to that, and you probably won't want to mention names, but if you do, I don't care. But speak, and I think this has been
that's almost like insightful projection.
What's the SRA?
Oh, SRA is what is satanic ritual abuse, which, by the way, the FBI says is a very bad term to use because it's very misleading. There are people who obviously are sexual predators and are out there who are committing acts on children that they shouldn't be doing, but it's not part of any kind of satanic ritual. It's just their own fetish and their own pedophilic. I don't even know how you would call it. Their own
Pedophilic.
what they do. Yeah, pedophilic desires, and it's just it's a sickness, but it doesn't have anything to do with Satanism, and there's definitely no ritual involved. It's just they just do it, and that's sick, and so the FBI doesn't like the term SRA, but the way that this man here, David, and his wife Donna Carrico, I sent them an email asking them for evidence of what they believe is the strongest case to prove that satanic ritual abuse actually happens. And she sent me an email back saying that they believe that all of these acts are of Satan. Thus, that's why they're satanic ritual abuse. But on the end of people who are in the Church of Satan, then people automatically associate satanic ritual abuse of people as actual satanic rituals. So that's how they muddy the waters in this situation, and so it paints Satanists and occultists and witches in a very bad light, because then people are assuming that we're running around stealing and kidnapping kids and performing sexual acts on them for some weird magical power, and we're not.
Hashtag pagans rape kids.
No. Let's not start that.
Yeah. The problem that we've seen from the beginning, the misinformation. So just speak to that a little if you can, Greg.
Well, one of the things that was extremely unexpected and difficult to deal with is somewhere around the early 90s, there was all kinds of quote-unquote ministries that rose up, and there were all kinds of people that claimed to be deprogrammers for victims of ritual abuse. And next thing you know, all across the country,
so you notice, well, whatever,
you have these people claiming to be, George Bush's, secret lover, or, having, a relationship with the Pope, and they were the top of the Illuminati. They were Illuminati, the highest form. And it just got to the, I'm not saying that this stuff doesn't happen at those levels. I know for a fact it does.
He knows for a fact it does?
This is more derpy than the derpy Fehu.
I saw him at the Illuminati meeting last week. He's telling all.
Yeah, he's divulging our secrets to the world. He can't be allowed to do that.
Yeah, and then Zabora's over here revealing secrets left and right. Remember, we got a Christian in the audience.
I know.
Yeah, actually, we have a Christian in our chat. We need to expose him. We need to dispose of him now.
Yeah, we're trying. We don't want him to know we're actually a part of the Illuminati.
My bad.
That's it. That's it, Zabora. We're going to petition to get you Illuminati.
Yeah, and we have to, I guess, do it.
Not my 10% discount card. I need that.
Either that or we dispose of Sniper. Either we get rid of Zabora or we keep Sniper. We have to decide. Get rid of Zabora or make Sniper join us.
You really somehow mysteriously Zabora takes a long vacation.
if there even is an Illuminati, which I believe there, like, I believe there are people who can control the media and what goes out and like what is like what the culture is. But
what do you think their end goal is?
Just to create a depraved society and generation.
But
And get more money.
But why?
Yeah, but what would that serve?
Screw the world up.
But what?
I know they live in the world. Why do they want to screw it up?
Well, the Satanist thought, what I've studied, is you have this one life and then that's it. Is that too wrong to say?
I don't
Yes, it
know.
is.
There's a lot of people who believe that. Yeah.
Okay, and so a lot of stuff I've seen is one thing. What was the one thing I saw? Some Satanists tend to keep a skull by their study or something just to look at it and look at their impending doom or their mortality or whatever. But at least I think the Illuminati, whatever they are, who they are, they creating a depraved society is just a sick delusion of their mind.
Right, but I'm asking you, what do you believe their purpose is? What do you think?
Why are they doing that?
Because whatever they believe, they wanna spread it.
So, okay, Sniper Boy, please listen to yourself. So you believe that there are people out there who are making a depraved society solely for the whole purpose of just making a depraved society. Is that what you actually believe?
They don't view it as depraved. They probably view it as like enlightenment, something like that.
All right, but sorry, Sniper Boy, but there's a serious flaw in that. I really don't understand that. Now, I could make an argument that it's Christians who are actually trying to take over the world and get everybody to believe the way that they believe, but I actually don't believe that is what their goal is.
Well, if you look at the media and what's portrayed in this culture as like exemplary, it's not too good.
Give an example.
Okay.
Hashtag Zavora.
Gangster rapper. Murder is cool. Like,
really? You wait. You think that murder is praised is cool?
Yeah.
Murder is punished by death or life in prison or really, really long prison sentence.
Are you joking?
Hashtag Comeback by Derpy Fahu.
How many songs on the radio can you go and listen that talk about pulling up on your block and popping your top and watch your body drop? That's all that's in the. That's all.
Yeah, that's a certain genre of music.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
And that's not even the genre. It's a piece of a genre.
Yeah,
but
and it's more or less run up on your boy than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a culture of rap comes out of the gang culture. That's where it comes from. And there are not necessarily all rappers are gangsters, but what I'm saying is it comes out of that culture, so that they're trying to make themselves look as big, as bad, and as powerful as they possibly can. So you'll see them dancing around with women. You'll see them handing out money, throwing money all up, in the air, and doing all these things to try and make themselves look bigger. And then another thing is that they just talk a lot of smack. And so they say, they make these raps up about people and doing all this stuff. But it's more of a front than anything else.
Look at Chicago, man. I have some friends.
Yeah, and you get called out on that too.
It is a war zone, and that stuff is no joke over there. People get
So
Chicago is a war zone. That does not justify your statement that our society glorifies murder. Everybody is going to say Chicago sucks because it's full of murder. I don't want to live in Chicago. I don't think anyone here wants to live in Chicago. It's full of murder, and nobody wants to be there. If our society glorified murder, they would say, wow, Chicago, that's a city on a hill. That's exemplary. Let's kill more people and be like Chicago.
It doesn't. Okay, I should say it's cool. You can look at any of the music. These people have millions of followers on Instagram. They rap about.
You bumped that line of thought, Sniper Boy. It's a genre of music.
No,
it's not really murder. It's more or less run up.
The people who follow these people think the music is cool. They don't think that actually murdering people is cool. And some of them may think that actually murdering people is cool, but those people then too are looked down upon by society as punks.
Okay, so
I don't know if you're in tune with the
I'm just going to pause the video right here for a second because I think this is important. But okay, so you think that the media, through whatever means, is trying to make murder look cool. What would be the goal of that?
I don't know what their end goal is. I'm going to be honest, but I'm just saying that's how it is. I believe that.
Why? Okay, that's okay. I'm just trying to figure out your thought process. So why? I mean, what makes you think this? What's behind your thought process about this?
Just doing research. Have you ever seen, like, what's it called, where the lodge where they all go with the big owl thing, the care?
Oh, Bohemian
Cremation
Grove?
of the Care, yeah. That's an Alex Jones thing.
All right, so
no,
okay,
no,
so
not just Alex Jones. Oh shoot,
Yeah.
I got the funniest Alex Jones video.
Yeah. Okay, so Sniper Boy. So
Yeah.
you believe that okay, so they're trying to make murder look cool so that people will go out and kill other people?
What do you mean? It already is.
I'm just trying to understand your logic, that's all.
It already is. It's not trying to. It already is. Like, I can just pull up pictures of you with people with freaking handguns that have 100,000 likes on Instagram. It's cool. It's cool to be that. It is cool to be that. Kids look at that and say, "Wow, they're cool. They're feared." They like that's.
But
you're actually somewhat incorrect.
But that's part of that culture. That's what I'm saying. I'm not into that. I know a lot of people who are not into that, but there is a culture of people who are into that. That's what they think is cool. But that is it's the best way I can describe it is a culture. But I'm trying to figure out, why do you think that is associated with the Bohemian Grove?
I'm just saying, like, hip hop is the most powerful force on the, like, musically on the planet right now.
Yes, I think we've got that element established.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, what's behind that? I mean, how does it tie into the Bohemian Grove?
Okay, if the Illuminati exists, they're full of evil people who just want to watch the world burn.
Okay, so they're just evil people. They just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, I mean,
they're literally like just sitting there, just going, "I want the world to burn." Is that honestly what you believe?
I mean, I don't know what their motives are because I'm not with them right now. But I mean, I obviously know, based on what's going on in the media right now and what's going on with the world right now.
So, okay, so of all the secret societies that we know of, you think that the Illuminati is the one secret society that has never, ever been exposed. There's no records of them paying taxes. There's no record of them being in a group. There's no record of any of the probably millions of people that must have come in contact with them somehow who never blew the whistle on them. You believe that this organization is so calculated and so incredibly stealthy that they have been able to manage to be completely hidden from society for the past, how many years do you think they've been around?
I mean, I don't have like a manifesto, like Word document saying this is what I believe about the Illuminati. Like, because if they're hidden, then you don't know. You don't know about them. I just say I believe there is a group of people that control what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know about the bureaucracy of it all.
How much control do you believe that these people have?
Raise, hold on a second. I didn't hear what Zabora had to say. What did you say, Zabora?
So the only evidence I've seen you give, Sniper Boy, is because the Bohemian Grove exists, therefore the Illuminati exists. And
I did not say that. I said based on...
All right. So it sounds like maybe we need a little bit of clarification. Actually, Raise, did you have something you were going to say?
Yeah, I did. And sorry, Zabor, for interrupting. And real quick, Sniper Boy, if I apologize for yelling at you. I apologize for jumping down your throat. This is an emotional topic for me. All right. So tell if you need to tell me to back off, tell me to back off, and I will. I will try to behave from here on in. How much control do you think that these secret societies or that this elite trying to control the entire world, how much control do you think they have? Do you think, for example, they control every single facet of the media? Do you think they control all the schools? Or do you think it's more like a few of the really rich that just throw some money around to control some congressmen, or what?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. And if it's a really truly secret society, you're not supposed to know.
Well, yeah, but for example, the Freemasons are essentially a secret brotherhood. But you can go to the internet and you can download their rituals. You can watch videos of what they actually do. You can actually talk to Freemasons. They won't tell you all their secrets, but they basically will tell you a lot about them. You can talk to people who have been ex-Freemasons, well, people who are actually been Freemasons and actually not Bill Schnoebelen. But I mean, so it's not a, and the stuff that happens in these lodges are like, they go through like 10 minutes of like reading a bunch of business from last week, and there's birthdays, and I mean, there's just like a whole bunch of like administrative crap that happens. They're not in there like, hoods on and they bring in a virgin and then they, I mean, this stuff just doesn't happen. And it's the same thing within Satanism and Wicca. There's so much like rigmarole that happens in these rituals. Most people would probably be bored by it. They're thinking like, when are they going to bring the virgin out and kill her? So my whole point is that the Illuminati, in my opinion, is a boogeyman that does not exist. But everybody believes that this boogeyman exists. But again, there's records. There's some things you cannot. There's no way that you can have an organization as huge as the Illuminati is supposed to be, and all the various people who would have to be paid off to be able to construct such a thing. It would the administrative and the function of that would just be, it would be insane. I mean, there's no way that they could keep that many people silent.
I don't think so, it's a gigantic bureaucracy where they got like offices everywhere where people are like, all right, hey honey, what's your job? Oh, I work at the Illuminati. Like,
well, yeah, because you believe, I mean, what do you believe that, so we're just calling this the Illuminati. But so, I mean, what do you think that okay, so how is it tied into the culture of this glorifying death to try to bring out, this evil plan of the world? All of this is organization. It has to happen. It just doesn't, there has to be something behind it, right? Or there has to be some kind of like a storyboard or something to plan all this out. It just doesn't happen spontaneously. Is that what you believe?
I mean, I don't know the process of it all, but I mean, not just the glorifying violence thing and that kind of stuff. I'd just say, I mean, you guys will think it's blah, but like even stuff with like the feminization of like men and like people wearing like dresses and like this stuff like that, kind of just stuff that degrades, at least what I believe is like the natural order of things.
So a man wearing a dress degrades the natural order?
Sniper Boy, if you say they turn into frogs, gay.
I'm just saying, you guys believe how you believe, but a man can wear a dress. I mean, you can do what you want, but that's just like.
Sniper Boy, it kind of sounds like it is your opinion.
Yeah, and I'm saying that. I said that was my opinion.
Great. Excuse me, I'm talking. It kind of sounds like it's your opinion that the world is degrading, and you don't know why it's happening, therefore Illuminati.
I didn't say, okay, look at the world. Do you believe that the world is really bad right now?
No.
Not really, no. I think
depends on where.
Do you know?
Depends on where you are in the world.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
do you know the life expectancy of somebody like, let's say, during the time of supposedly Jesus, let's say 40 AD? Do you know how long? Do you know what the life expectancy was back then?
Yeah, like 40 years old.
40.
Maybe even younger. I don't know.
It
Well,
was. Yeah, you were
In
alive.
medieval times, you lived to be 15, and that was middle aged.
Yeah. I mean, if you lived to be 30, you were good. There was no law. There was no like government to protect you. If you didn't eat and you didn't have a family to feed you and you didn't have neighbors who were going to feed you, you starved to death. If you got an infection in your leg and it spread and it went gangrene, and if they tried to remove your leg or remove it, you probably died. People died mostly of dental. Their teeth like got in and rotted, and that's how they died. A lot of people died from just their teeth. It was a horrible, horrible way to live. There was no electricity, there was no refrigeration, and there was no internet. Can you imagine that?
I'd be fine with that, to be honest. But you also
I feel like that's a
So-
lie.
people with a click of a button, or like just the amount of death you can cause nowadays. It's easy.
Yeah, and that is, yes, that is an unfortunate reality that we live with today. But life back then was much more horrible. Even in the Middle Ages, it was horrible. If you got like any kind of a disease, chances are you're going to die. Nowadays, we have antibiotics, we have surgery, I mean, just think about if you had to get something amputated. They didn't have anything. They didn't have any Novocaine or anything to give you. You had to like drink alcohol or bite on a stick, and they severed off your limb or whatever. I mean, it was horrible. The way we live today, like most people live to be at least like, let's say, what, 80, 90 years old. That's a long, long life. We're actually very, very lucky today. I mean, look at what we're complaining about. We're complaining about men wearing skirts and man spreading. I mean,
Exactly.
What's wrong with?
this is the extent of our problems today.
Is
This
it
is-
man spreading on women? That's wrong.
When
I-
one
I
of our
man
problems,
spread.
when one of our problems is obesity, we're doing pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also homosexuality has always been around. And also cross-dressing has always been around. It's goes all the way back to Greek times, goes back in Roman times. In India, there's actually like a sect where they kind of like go back and forth between genders. And these people are considered to be deity, what do you call it? Like representations of deity, because they're able to be both male and female. Whereas most normal people, or not normal is a good way to say it, the average person is just male or female. But these people were supposed to be, they were considered to be special because they were fluid. They were more gender fluid. And this is I forget what it's called. It's a sect in India.
Yeah.
Don't
in
forget the
medieval
Gaishas.
times, They had,
I mean the Argers. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was just
Yeah, okay.
in the Solomon Islands. They had beliefs that if you had a little boy, you had to disguise your little boy as a little girl. So you had to put him in dresses and wear his hair long and treat him as a little girl so that they didn't come and snatch away your child in the middle of the night, because they didn't understand things like sudden infant death syndrome or disease or anything like that. So, I mean, it's very old customs, cross-dressing, very many cultures.
So Sniper Boy, I don't want you to get. I understand that you're on the defensive right now. So I don't want you to feel like we're all ganging up on you and attacking you. I think that what it is that you have an opinion about something, which from my opinion, my point of view, is extreme, or it's very unusual to me. And I encounter this a lot in all the videos that I do. So I am very curious about what is behind this belief, like what makes you believe these things. So that's what I'm trying to understand. So I'm not like trying to, stupid and you shouldn't believe this way, because I don't think that that's fair. I think that you have this belief because of certain things that are in place that builds up this belief. People don't just have beliefs that are just based on, sugar candy clouds. They're actually based in something. So I'm just curious what you think the whole purpose to this would be. So they're going to make men wear dresses. They're going to glorify death. I mean, so the end goal to all of this sounds like annihilation of the human race. Do you think that's what they actually want to do? Because
probably not.
They're going to annihilate themselves.
No, I mean, I don't really look too much into like the NWO and stuff like that. I just believe it's out there. And technically, if there was a true New World Order, it would not be to annihilate mankind. It would be to create like I don't know what you'd call it, like a group think where everybody's like the same.
Communism?
You think like maybe they're gonna like try to make like an Uberman, like what Hitler was trying to do, make a super race?
No, I mean I wouldn't even say that. I don't even know. Just I don't know. Just where everyone thinks the same and just like I mean I don't even know. And that's the thing. I'm trying to defend like a stance that I don't even know about. I just believe it's out there.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you just don't know what you're talking about. So, like,
well, you don't either. That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows. It's a secret society. That's what I'm saying.
No, actually.
Well, with respect,
hold on. Go ahead, Reyes.
Okay, just with respect to the goal of wanting to make a society that all thinks the same. That's already happened many times throughout history, whether it's Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, I mean, Mussolini, Franco, I mean, name a dictator. It's whatever. I mean, I think it'll happen again just because it's happened before so many times. However, I don't think that we need some sort of secret society or anything like that in order for people to try to attempt yet another planned society.
Yeah. And I lost my train of thought. But so it's just so if this organization, whatever, we're just going to call them the Illuminati for right now, if their end goal is to make everybody think the same, I don't exactly understand how that would work, because we all have free thought. We all, no matter what, no matter how hard cultures and dictators and people have tried to make people conform to believe one way, there's always somebody in the back, some rebel somewhere, who just gives them the middle finger and does whatever it is they want to do. Even if they get killed for it, they're still going to go against the grain. It's just human nature. So I don't see, even if they were able to do this, what would be the purpose to having an entire world population thinking one way? What would that accomplish then?
Well, if you want to hear my perspective, you're gonna hear about like the end times and Revelation and Armageddon and all that stuff. But
I'm open. Throw it on the table. Throw it on the table.
All right. So technically, if whatever the Illuminati, whatever,
mm-hmm.
the end times talk a lot about how there's going to be I guess like not like a new world order, but just like one currency for the whole world, and just like basically like a world domination going on with like the Antichrist, and Battle of Armageddon will happen against the forces of evil and forces of good, and then the 1,000-year reign of Christ, and the new heaven on earth and stuff like that. So technically, from my view, it'd just be to make a depraved society, because Satan and his demons are influencing, and it's just how it's supposed to go.
Okay. So that's actually not surprising to me, because I've actually encountered that before. But so what? Okay, so in the end times, like the 4 apocalypse comes, or not the four apocalypse. The four horsemen come. The apocalypse comes.
Right.
Jesus comes down. All the people who are righteous and pure get raptured up, and everybody else is left here. And then, is that what you believe, or I mean, is there
technically a post tribulation?
Okay.
What is it called? Oh my gosh, when they get, oh my gosh, I forget what it's called. I'm so bad. Rapture. There's no a pro-tribulation rapture is not necessarily biblical. Like all the Christians are gonna be just like taken out conveniently before stuff hits the fan, because technically, at least from the wide interpretation, Christians are still gonna be on the earth. It's only after all the stuff hits the fan.
So what is your interpretation of Satan? Do you believe that Satan is a dominion, an actual servant of God, or do you believe that he's the antithesis, the anti God of God? And
They're
God,
not on the same level. No, Satan is only an angel, fallen angel. So they're not even on the same level. I don't like when people do duality and show stuff like Jesus and like on Facebook, Jesus and the devil are like arm wrestling.
Right.
Like for God, and like if you don't, you're like you love the devil. It's not really that, but technically the devil was Lucifer, the morning star. He was the one who would like bring in. I don't know about all the specific details, but basically it's God's the most beautiful angel, and he was prideful, and because of that, and he wanted to send to where God was, and so a third of the angels rose against God and got cast down.
And so, and do you read the King James version of the Bible?
No.
Okay.
People who are King James purists kind of are a little, because I mean that came out in the 1600s, whereas the Bible has been around since like, well, fully together probably about like 300 AD, 400 AD.
Okay.
So it's changed. Been translated and stuff like that. So when people go crazy about the King James being like the only thing, it's not true.
Okay. So in the book of Revelations, you believe that all of this stuff is in there. I mean, I'm just wondering if you think that it's a prophecy that's going to happen, or do you believe that it's going to be brought about by man? I'm just wondering which way you believe about it.
Well, technically God isn't like guiding everything to happen. Like he's just like, all right, now it's time for the apocalypse. Technically it is man leading it on, because sometimes people are way too into it and think, oh, because free will is a thing. Free will is definitely a thing. People talk about, a lot of Christians are like about predestination. I believe God knows where you're going to end up, but he's not leading you to go any way. You ultimately choose, because you have free will. You can either go left or go right. There's no, people might believe, oh, then God is guiding you then because you chose it. But I believe it's humans guiding us towards the end.
Okay. It's Raise. Did
Under
you
demonic
have your hand up?
Yeah, I have my hand up. I would like to ask you a question and a follow-up. My question is, have you yourself read Revelation? And if you have, then how do you make heads or tails of it? Do you think of it as literal, which, because this was from a dream that I think it was John had in prison. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, okay, keep going. I'll just follow.
Okay, so how do you interpret all the rather unusual imagery in Revelation?
Okay, sure. So basically, the book of Revelation was written by John on the island of Patmos. He wasn't in prison, but he was out praying one day, and then he had this vision. He got taken up, like you guys might say like astral projected, but he was basically taken up in spirit form and shown these pretty bizarre things. And I don't know if this is answering your question, but say the things about the 7 lampstands that he first sees. Those represent something. Those represent the 7 churches at the time. And the stuff about the 10-headed dragon beast with all these crowns and blasphemy, those are meant to represent things. But in a literal sense, yes, I believe those things are going to happen. But here, if you want to give me an example of like something that you can think of, and that I can answer that.
Do you think that there's some metaphorical stuff in Revelation, but it's going to literally happen in a metaphorical sense?
Well,
match up with the Bible in some metaphorical way.
well, what I was asking, and you did answer my question, because you do take it as symbolic of things that will happen. Yeah. So, and thank you for correcting me. 'Cause I think I was getting things mixed up, so I don't want to mess up your religion. So thank you for correcting me there. So, yeah. Well, yeah, and so I'm wondering then, is there a particular reason? No, how do I'm trying to ask this. Is there a particular author or a particular school of thought that inspires your personal eschatology?
Not really. No, I mean, all Christians pretty much believe that. Even Muslims believe that Jesus is going to come back at the end times. So, I mean, most of it isn't really that crazy. I mean, some of the stuff about Leviathan and like Behemoth and stuff like that, but I mean, I personally do take the Bible in a literal sense, like with creation and with like Noah's Ark and stuff like that. But Revelation, as you're going on in the book, and it's explained that angels will explain things to John as they're happening. Like this represents this. This represents this.
So I have kind of an interesting maybe thought experiment or thought question for you.
Mm.
If you could take the entire Bible and leave the end of the world part out of it, how do you think your view of this whole Illuminati, NWO, end of the world times thing, do you still feel that there would be this end of the world that would be coming, or do you think it comes from the Bible? Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's kind of scary to me to think that there's this religious belief out there that basically you have to have an end of the world, because just the whole thought of having the end of the world creates itself. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like me, reading a tarot cards and seeing like, something's gonna happen. I'm gonna break my leg. And so what I do is I then go through the rest of my life and then I break my leg. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I brought it out myself because I believe it was going to happen.
Mm.
So what do you think? Like if you could imagine like the whole Bible, but leave that end of the world part out.
Yeah. Just from a secular perspective, I'd just imagine, from that time to now, we have the capability now of honestly ending the world with nuclear war and stuff like that. So you can't.
Actually,
you'd have to take the whole Bible out.
Yeah, the world is actually going to survive. The world will be just fine. Humans will be extinct, but the world will be just fine.
Okay, true. Then human
the
life
world will heal. It'll evolve, and some other species will come up.
I mean, I don't even know if rats or something. I don't know. Or cockroaches are resistant to radiation, aren't they?
Could be, but my point is the world won't end. I mean, I know we all think that because, well, we're pretty self-centered, egotistical animals, but the world will be just fine. Yeah. Go ahead, Zabora.
I mean, we'll all
you
be
have something to say? will be dead.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned another Abrahamic faith when you mentioned Muslims and how they support the idea of Jesus.
Back at the end.
Now, there is no, like, from my understanding, no other religions outside the Abrahamic faith that support this idea.
I mean, well, I'm just saying the two biggest religions on the planet, and they both believe that. So
Yeah.
So because they're the minority, or because they're the majority, they're correct.
I mean, you have a better chance of not. And I'm just saying that the religion wouldn't spread if it didn't have some power in it.
Well, I
No.
think the power behind it would be like the swords and the witch hunts and the doctrine and just the changing of society, which is a natural part of civilization.
I mean, this is getting into the realm of a whole nother debate, talking about like how like divine power revealed through religions and how they.
Well, no, what I want you to hear is what you're saying, okay? Like, 300 years ago, whites and blacks could not intermingle, and the majority of the population believed that. Do you believe that they were correct? I mean, do you see what you're saying? Like, because the majority says it's right, therefore it's right? That's brainwashing, sweetie.
Well, I'm just saying, isn't that like, okay, how many Christians are there? Probably Christians and Muslims together, that's probably like 4 billion people. 4 billion, I might say. If they both believe that, all those believe that, I'm just saying, from my perspective and from like my worldview, I'm just saying I'm saying Muslims believe this same form of events will happen too. I mean, you can argue me about like how it's true, but I'm just saying from my view.
Yeah, but but unfortunately that's a common fallacy. Just because most people in the Middle Ages believed that the world was flat, it didn't make it true. You know what I mean? They found out that they actually knew that the world was round back in the time of the Greek philosophers, but most people, almost everybody, believed that the world was flat. But just because the majority of them believed it did not make it correct.
And there are probably still things now that we all believe correct too. I'm just saying, from my view, there's power in Christianity. I mean, you guys are going to say that is that, but I'm just saying, you can go look in about the we talked about this.
Okay.
No, no.
Hold on, Zabor. Let him finish.
No. Okay, and this is a whole nother debate, but talking about how, like, human history has shown how God has been with Israel and just like all the history and spreading of a religion starting from just 12 people and just going all over the world. And you could talk about with Islam too, but just saying how miraculously.
That's a myth. That there's no proof that it was 12 dudes in the desert who told this story. That's a creation.
Well, it has to start somewhere.
Vampires, the little children, when they say, "Why, mommy? Why?" It's like, well, because Jesus and the 12 disciples. You know, I mean, you're conflicting mythology and history, and it's not okay, dude. I don't know if you can see your thought process here.
Oh, well, it has to start from one point. So if it's 1 or 12, it doesn't really matter. It's just that it starts from one point and goes all over the world.
So you're suggesting that the ability for philosophy to spread indicates that there is truth to it.
Or some kind of power behind it.
Okay, now, is it possible then that there is some kind of dark power behind it? And I not actually saying that there is dark power behind it. I'm just saying let's play with the possibilities. Is it possible? I'm not leading you anywhere. I'm just
an
experiment.
Of course, yeah.
So we've really kind of gone on quite a different angle of this whole thing, which I think has been beneficial. I think it's interesting because it does sort of tie in, but I think we should try to stay a little bit focused on one topic, because otherwise I think we're just going to start including all kinds of stuff in, and then we're just going to have too much on our plate. So I think we should probably try and return back to the concept of this Illuminati, NWO, end of the world type of scenario. So I'm just trying to figure out what again, I just kind of wanted, because I don't think that this question was answered. Do you think that it is humanity that is creating this, or do you think that this is already written in the Bible and it's just going to happen no matter what?
I mean, from my perspective, since it is written in the Bible, it's going to happen. Just the natural progression of mankind. You're just going to say, yeah, people killed a ton of people back then too, but now it's on a way more intense scale than it was back then. And people killed a lot of people back then too, but now you can kill all those people like that.
Yeah, but okay, but
so human.
What? Hold on a second, Zabor. I just have one follow-up question, and I'll get to you. But what makes you say that what majority of the people are being killed? I know you just said this, but your logic is not. Your logic isn't there. How many people are dying every day in a war around the world right now?
I'm just saying there hasn't been a world war for 70 years. Gonna be
Okay.
I'm just saying, if it did happen, it would be catastrophic. More than any other time in history, back in history, it's going to be catastrophic because the weapons we have now are major.
Yeah. Zabor, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, so it kind of sounds like you were saying that it was prophesied when John was recording the dream of Revelation.
Well, it wasn't a dream.
Will naturally evolve destruction. And that it's prophesied to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
Hi.
Sorry, Zabora, were you done?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. So Sniper Boy, how does that tie in with? Okay, so if the Bible prophecy is there and it's going to happen, how would it matter if? So let's say the Illuminati didn't exist.
Yeah.
The NWO didn't exist. They're not turning the frogs gay and trying to, get people to think like one mind. That prophecy would still happen regardless, even if they did do all this stuff. Would you agree with that, or would you not agree with that?
I mean, I'm going to be I'm just saying this is a very esoteric topic that I honestly we don't really know much about. And who knows? I mean, I believe the devil is definitely working in the world, and there's just a lot of bad stuff going on, and you guys are going to be the bad stuff that's always been going on. But it's just now it's bad. Your chances of being it's just a bad place full. I just walked around my city and see a bunch of hurt, broken people, and just everything in the news of everything that ISIS is doing, and
no offense.
I know
boy, but you're not answering my question.
What's your question?
My question was, don't you think that if it's written in the Bible, it's going to happen no matter what? So the Illuminati, it doesn't matter if they're involved in it. So why?
I guess, but they would just be the vehicle of that then. Because I don't know. I don't know what they can do or what they can do.
Right? Because it's written in the Bible. Right?
I mean, the Bible prophesies that this is going to happen. I don't know who's going to be the vehicle of that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that answers your question.
It helps me to understand your point of view better, but I really wish you could see my point of view, because I'm going to be quite honest with you, Sniper Boy. It sounds like a death cult. It sounds like the whole purpose of your religion is to bring about the end of the world. And to me, as somebody who doesn't believe that, it's very frightening, because it seems like it's so locked in, like it's going to happen. I see it all the time. It's like having tunnel vision, where you only see the end of the world. And I don't walk around seeing everything like that. And I wouldn't want to walk around seeing the world like that. And I don't think, if there was actually a monotheistic deity, a deity who created everything around us, created the universe, is omniscient, all powerful. If this deity is supposed to have all of these abilities and created humankind to live on this planet, which, to the best of our knowledge, is the only planet that we've found that actually has life on it, I don't understand why this God would just say, and then one day, that's it. Poof. Gone. I don't understand that. Please explain that to me. Why would a God do that?
Why would God create a world where he was just worshipped by a bunch of automatons, where that's all they know? You're supposed to have free will.
Yeah, why would he create a world like that just to snuff it out?
I'm not God, so I don't know. So,
but
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. Like God, like his ways are not our ways. I don't know. And you're not. It's not God, but like blows up the world. It's not like that, because there's obviously going to be life on this earth after it all happens. All the people, all the Christians are going to live on this world, because God created this world to be good. The new heaven is going to come down from the new Jerusalem is going to come down from heaven and come on earth, and we're all going to be here.
Sniper Boy, what you just said was that God will come back and kill everyone who's Christian.
God's not going to what?
You just said that the life on earth after, Revelations is going to be Christians. He created this life for Christians. So, is God coming back and killing all the non-Christians? Like, I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say.
No, because there's going to be the final judgment. I mean, if you're alive, you're going to, at the final judgment, if you're still alive, then you're just going to either stay or...
Okay, what happens after the final judgment? Like, I'm obviously going to hell. I don't believe in your death cult. But what happens to you guys? You guys just all go to heaven, and then what happens to the earth?
I just said we stay on the earth.
Okay, so all the non-Christians die and go to hell, and the Christians inherit the earth.
Not just the Christians. You got to also look at the Old Testament saints and everybody. So Jewish people too.
Okay, so heaven comes down to earth, and you guys all live merrily on the earth in God's glory.
Wait, you can't cut out.
Are you okay? So everybody in heaven, all the saints, everybody who did good works for God.
No.
Christians on earth. I'm asking you what you're saying.
First, it's a faith thing. It's not just like that's a lot of you get to heaven based on your faith and what you believe and what not. It's not what you do. It's not what you do, because everybody has sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So it's not that. But
well, I can say that.
Well, I want to get into the eschatology. Technically, if you were to die right now, you would either go. It's kind of like a shady topic, but you'd either go to Hades, kind of like a holding cell until the final judgment, or you would go. I guess you would call it. You guys would call it heaven, but you'd be. Revelation talks about people.
Are you talking purgatory in Abraham's bosom?
It's not purgatory, but
well, Abraham's
bosom is the word that's used technically. Yeah.
Okay, so it's purgatory.
No, well, no, because purgatory in and of itself is a Catholic notion that you are kind of like working off your debts. You're just chilling. It's basically just chilling.
Are you talking about Sheol?
No, well, See, the thing is, Sheol is just a word for the pit, so you could technically categorize that as Hades, which is technically, if you die right now, you wouldn't go to hell. You would there's the story of Lazarus and how like he died and he passed the beggar, and so he was just separated by a chasm. You know, the poor guy on the mat, he was in Abraham's bosom, and there he was in Hades. And you're technically awaiting the final judgment. You're not going to hellfire if you die right now. You're going to be waiting around.
I'm waiting to be judged. I'm waiting to be judged if I die.
Yeah.
And then when Jesus comes back, that's when I get judged and I go to hell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what happens to the earth? The Christians inherit it?
The Christians and Jews, apparently.
I mean, everybody who hears the truth and believes it. So.
Okay, so all the non-Christians die and the Christians inherit the earth. You don't see how that's a problem for the rest of the world?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so basically people are sent to hell for committing thought crime, in essence.
No, because if you see the truth and you know the truth, you believe it. So I'm just saying you guys are going to say whatever you want. I mean, you...
I'm not saying whatever I want.
There's power in the faith. There's power in the faith.
No. We're I mean, yeah, we're poking a little bit of fun at it, but
well, yeah.
Hopefully you can understand it, and so maybe we need to tone that back a little bit. But I think we're really just trying. I mean, at least for myself, I'm really trying to understand. I'm really trying to just get a very gestalt understanding of what you believe and what you just try to really understand your position better. So from what I've heard you said so far, okay, so let's walk through this. This deity creates the world and he creates everything, and man and woman, they live for however many thousands of years, and then the Bible shows up and okay, so this is the word of God. We got you guys, we got to do this. Take this little piece of your dick off, and you over there don't commit sodomy and oral sex. And, okay, so they go through life and they do this, and then some of them, like maybe they have a little bit of oral sex, a little bit of anal sex, and then on the other side they're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sticking with the plan. I'm sticking to the rules. So you got these two people. One of them's doing what God wants. The other one's not doing what God doesn't want them to do. So then Judgment Day comes, and okay, you guys over there who did the oral sex and a little anal sex, you guys are going to go down here and burn in hell with the rest of the people who have been going down and burning in hell. And then you have this other group that are going to be going up to heaven to live with God for the rest of their life. Or after the end of the world happens, what happens to those good people? Do they come back down to earth and clean up the mess and get rid of the radiation and fight off the cockroaches and create civilization again?
No, I mean, no one can say what heaven's going to be like, and no one can say what hell's going to be like. Hell's going to be horrible, and the new, like, eternal life, or, like, believe it's going to be good. So, I mean, no one knows.
Right, hell bad,
but
good.
Yeah. So, but okay. So at the end of the world comes, everybody's dead. What happens to those good Christians? Do they go and live in heaven, or do they come back down to the earth afterwards?
All right. Before the final judgment, right now, if you were to die right now, you would probably just be in like a big black mess and like be like, where am I? You're just gonna be waiting around for however long it is. At least how I believe right now, if I die, I would just be kind of like how you are, but just like almost like with a little more pleasant feel. Like no one really, there's no theology supporting what it actually is like, but in Revelation it talks about like they were like knocking under the altar, and then he opened the door and they said, how much longer do we have to wait, and stuff like that. So it's kind of
yeah, okay, I understand that part. Yeah, obviously, I'm not asking you to describe heaven for me. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just trying to figure out what happens after the revelation, after that last bit in the Bible is done, and the end of the world comes, and that's it. I'm just wondering what happens to those people who get raptured, or the people who live in heaven. I'm just wondering what happens to those people. Do they actually just spend the rest of the eternity in heaven, or do they come back down
No,
to the earth?
heaven ultimately comes down to earth because God created the earth and then put humans on it. So this is where we're supposed to be at.
Okay, so after Revelation, everybody's wiped out. The good people go up to heaven, and then the anal oral sex people, they go down into hell. And so those people, after the end of the world, come back down to earth and inherit the earth.
Yeah, technically, but why are you saying this oral sex stuff? Because
I'm just joking about, you know, people who sin, people who would burn in hell.
Well, it's not technically a sin. I said, like, in the confines of marriage, technically, I mean,
Okay.
you can do it everywhere, but like, it's not. I don't believe that's right.
All right. So the people who don't follow the 10 Commandments and wear like different colored cloths and stuff like that, who lust after their neighbor's ass, those people go down and live in hell. Well, I'm glad you're able to laugh about this because, you know,
because I mean, it's like a ridiculous. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like, you have to understand that it's not what you do. You could. It's what you believe. It's not a like salvation by works, because nobody would be able to be saved then.
I don't think we're arguing that. I don't think anyone's arguing that.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, because you could be a sodomizer and blah blah blah, and accept Jesus, and you're going to be fine. It's not like, oh, you were
yeah, but that's the key, though, right? You have to accept Jesus. I'm not saying that these people accepted Jesus. I'm not going to accept Jesus before I die.
I hope you do.
So I'm assuming I'm going to go and according to your theology, your belief system, I'm going to burn in hell for eternity.
Yeah, right? That's a horrible thing, isn't it?
It's okay.
No,
I lived in Southern California for a while. It's pretty bad. I think I can handle it.
No.
Plus, I also don't believe that. I don't believe because, and the reason why I don't believe it is because I've walked through and I've thought about all of this, and I just cannot comprehend a deity that has so much power and so much compassion would actually create a planet to one day also destroy it. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like if I put a 1 and a 1 together, this equals 3 to me. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I believe that the Bible was written by people who wanted to manipulate and control people. Some guy had the idea that everything was unified by one single being. Somebody else ran with that idea. They created this Bible to manipulate and control and make sure people adhered to whatever it is that they wanted them to do. Namely, the first thing they controlled was who and how they slept with people, who and what they ate, how they should act, and et cetera. It's a control manipulation to me. That's how I perceive it.
I didn't realize helping the poor and loving people was
One does not have to be a Christian to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you make it seem like it's a religion that is almost like you say manipulating, that has a negative connotation, that it teaches negative things for its followers. Christianity teaches to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, manipulation happens, you know, I mean, especially if you're running a kingdom and you have a bunch of people who are basically always, you know, like they're hungry and threatening to storm your castle with spears or whatever implements they have. You want to figure out some way to control and manipulate them so that they don't revolt against you.
I mean, I don't know about that, because if you're a king, you're going to want to look out for your best interest. And if the religion, if I don't even like calling my faith a religion, because a religion is just a bunch of rules and stuff like that. I have a faith, but if it was Oh wow, CC's still up. But basically, if its teachings are for like nothing but goodness and righteous things.
Really?
And where you?
Where?
Well, yeah.
Baka.
Where?
Like what? Where does Christianity say to do something that is, in your point of view, evil?
No. That's not my question. My
glitches.
question was, where in the Bible does it say stuff to do that you should do stuff that's good?
Talking about clothing the naked, feeding the hungry, comforting the poor, visiting people in prison, that kind of stuff. The Beatitudes, stuff like that.
How much of that? Sure. How much of that do you do, and how much of that do you think other Christians do?
I do. I went to Jamaica on a missions trip. I did a lot of local mission stuff. I mean, but that's the thing. You're not saved by your works, but you should do it if you have the faith. Because if you don't, you technically kind of have a dead faith.
Wait a minute. So then you should only do it because of your faith?
No, because technically,
That's my head of
the
this.
thief on the cross who lived a life of sin, he still got salvation. But if you live your whole life as a Christian and you don't do anything with it, I don't know, because there are parables talking about the person, the servant who just hid his master's money that he got.
So are there?
If you were to get a gun to your head right now and accepted Jesus before you shot, you would be saved.
Huh? What'd you say?
Someone had. What am I talking with, Sabora?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you just said.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, if someone had a gun to your head and you believes in Jesus and accepted him right before they pulled the trigger, you would go to heaven. I promise you that.
But I'd be dead.
That's a weird argument.
Before the trigger. Okay, if you accepted Jesus and right after you accepted Jesus, they killed you, you would go to heaven right now.
Yeah,
What?
but
That's still a weird
That's
argument.
awesome.
I said that I would be dead.
You see, like, Jesus, I accept you. Boom, heaven.
Accept him before you die, so then you will.
Sniper Boy,
Yeah, but Sniper Boy, that's your belief structure.
Yeah.
I would be dead either way.
All
If
this
I
I cannot
Jesus
prove
or not when I died, I would be dead.
all the way back to the atheist God, if God even exists today. Because if I'm saying this stuff, I'm just saying it from the point of view that God exists. But you
Right.
don't, so it's not going to have any weight with you.
Right, exactly.
if I give
Can't we just all have
you would be saved right now.
What?
If I give you a papyrus Connie, you would be saved right now. You can go to Duat and just feel
I can't hear you very well. You're like really echoed.
She said that if you had like a scroll of the Duat, even though you accepted Jesus, would you still go to heaven for it?
Scroll the
That's
Duat.
what I heard. Like about the Duat and the
I said,
smoke.
if I gave you a papyrus Connie, you would go to Duat and be saved.
A papyrus what?
Oh my god.
It might help to spell it in the chat room.
I can't access the chat room.
Oops.
Oh no, there's a way you can do it inside Google Hangouts. If you go up to the upper this corner over here, there's like a little blue thing. You click that and you can type the message in there. But anyhow, what she's saying, Sniper Boy, and she'll, I know she'll correct me. Cece, is there something you want to say?
No, there's just a lot of bugs right now.
Okay, Cece, if you're going to be in this hangout, you're going to have to please just try to minimize the noise. If you want to speak, let me know and then have your say.
I'm sorry, I forgot that I wasn't muted.
That's all right. It's okay. Yeah. So let's keep it clear for other people to talk. So what she's saying, Sniper Boy, is that in her belief system, there's a certain way for you to be saved, and I believe she was saying write it in the book of life, the book of Thoth. I think that's what she said. I could be wrong.
So technically there is like a book of life. And if your name's written in it, you're fine. If it's not, then obviously not. Yeah.
I think it'd be better if she described it. So, But yeah, so I mean, it's just I think her main goal was to just try to explain to you that there's different belief systems in what happens after someone dies.
Of course there are, but they don't have all these believers. I'm just saying, I'm coming from the perspective that a religion has all this stuff because it has some power behind it.
Right. You're talking from the flat Earth point of view.
Well, you're talking from a point of view where there is no God, so it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, if you look at
Actually, I never said that there was no God. I've never said that.
Well, you told me you have atheistic leanings or agnostic leanings.
Yeah, I do, but everything that I've said in this conversation, I've actually posed a question in the form of if there is a deity. And if this deity did all of these things, I just don't understand how this deity would destroy it. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like watching a mother raise a baby to the point of the baby's actually going to go out and live on its own, and the mother just stabs the baby in the back. It doesn't make any sense.
Not that. The God isn't going to destroy the planet. You got it totally misconstrued. He created it. He's not destroying anything.
Who is destroying it?
What happened to Revelations?
Yeah, exactly.
If he destroyed the planet, we wouldn't be living on it.
Didn't he say at one point he was going to blow it up?
Yeah, I'm
confused.
He was going to blow it up. I have been telling you that the whole theology is that we are going to live on the earth after the end times because God created it to be good. So
in that category, you're not including anybody else. We rot in hell.
Because you don't believe the truth when you hear it.
No. I don't want to stab you.
And that's why I mentioned thought crime.
Okay, so this whole conversation started around this idea of the Illuminati and the New World Order creating something and bringing about the end of the world. And then we started talking about theology and God and Revelations and the end of the world prophecy and the end of the world. And you were talking about how you see around us this death cult. People in rap videos are glorifying murder and they're turning the frogs gay and all this stuff. So we were leading up to this point, and then you also said, oh, but, sorry, one other point. The good guys are going to go to heaven, and then they're going to come back and inherit the earth. The bad people are going to go into hell. But there's some point right there, right? There's a judgment day, and this judgment day happens when? At the end of the world, correct?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the world is blown up. That just means it's like the end. There's going to be a final battle.
I don't know. How many nuclear wars have we been through so far?
None.
Okay.
Wasn't it one?
So what are you basing this off of?
Yeah.
What do you think I'm basing it off
Didn't
of?
the Nazis have nukes?
No.
They were. Yeah, they were actually. I think they were working on them, but yeah, no.
They were, but we got them first, and so we dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
And since then, now that was not a nuclear war. That was a war with 2 nuclear bombs. And then there was a whole bunch of nuclear testing done by the United States and the Soviet Union. And now places like India and Pakistan have gotten into nuclear testing. And China is currently doing a lot of nuclear testing.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what I'm wondering about. Like, okay, so after the end of the world happens and then God sends the people back down to the earth, they're going to be fighting off, super cockroaches, and
damn it,
there's going to be radiation.
There's
going to be so much radiation.
It's not going to be like this life, though. You got to understand. It's not going to be like, just you're going to live your regular day job. You're going to commute to work and stuff like that. It's going to be communion with God on the earth. It's not going to be like dealing with all that stuff. I don't know all the reasons. Can I finish a point, please?
So
it's not going to be like this life. It's not. You're not going to have your. It's not going to be like this life where you're going to have a job and do this stuff, and you're gonna see all the little, you're gonna have to fight cockroaches. It's not like that, and it doesn't say in the Bible what it's gonna be like.
Right. I know. I was joking about that. But I'm
Death by
just
radiation roach.
yeah, right. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, because you said, because I brought up the idea of a mother, symbolic of God, raising a child, symbolic of humanity, to get to the age where they venture off onto their own, like the age of 18, and they become basically independent from you. And this is my symbolic of humanity flourishing to a certain point. And then God stabs them in the back. That's symbolic of God ending the world to me. So that's why I'm saying I just don't understand how a deity can basically raise a child only to one day stab it in the back. That's how I see God creating the world, giving it the book, and then the end of the world coming about.
Hashtag the
That's what I
gone
don't
wrong.
understand.
I don't know. I think you're sensationalizing the thing about stabbing in the back, because ultimately, if you die on this earth, it's not because God guided someone to kill you. It's because someone killed you. And there's no, like, I mean, people just think so much about, like, that, oh, because this happened, God wanted it to happen. No, it just happened.
Bitch,
Okay.
what?
Like, people
So
think,
is she-
oh, why? Where there's hunger, there are kids starving in Africa. God wants kids to starve in Africa. No, there's free will. And
Starving here in our city. We
of
don't have
course,
to go to Africa anymore.
all right. Well, I'm just saying, God isn't like you let the children starve. It's just what happens. He's not like doing all this stuff, like making sure, oh yeah, let's go make North Korea like this. No, it's just what happened.
Yeah. Okay, so, but again, earlier we talked about the revelation, the end of the world, and about if mankind is going to bring the end of the world, or if God is going to bring the end of the world. And I thought you had said that it's in the book of Revelations, the end of the world is going to come. So it's in the Bible. It's going to happen whether or not mankind brings it about or not.
It was kind of along the lines of the same thing I said to you about the predestination thing. God knows everything. He knows everything that's going to happen, and he says what's going to happen. But it's not like he's like guiding you to fulfill that certain path. You choose. If God, you completely took God out of the equation, you're going to live your life however you want it. And God's obviously going to know what that is, because he's God. He's omniscient. He knows it. And in the same way about the whole end of the world thing, God knows what's going to happen. And he said it, like, through the vision that John had in Revelation. People are going to do that. It's not like God's going to be throwing thunderbolts and all this crazy stuff. Like, humans are going to bring about the end times. And Revelation talks about the horsemen coming and all that stuff. That technically is God's doing, but men, humankind, are going to be the ones that are driving.
Okay, so are you trying to tell us that God created humankind knowing we would destroy ourselves?
I don't know, because I'm not God. You make me seem like I can be inside God's head. He has a plan for life. Huh?
We're just,
I mean, like, I'm repeating what you're saying to us, and you keep going, no, that's not what I'm saying. And it's because it sounds ludicrous. I don't really think you understand what you're sounding like to the rest of the group here.
No, I know what I'm sounding like, 'cause I'm talking to a bunch of people who live their life to prove people like me wrong.
no.
Wow,
Hold on
no.
a second. Don't put that on us. We're not trying to prove you wrong. Sniper
You have
boy,
said
at
that
all.
we
We're-
matter. Our opinions don't matter because we're not Christian.
I didn't say they don't.
Yeah.
You did.
No, what we want to we want to understand your position. Every single question I've posed to you, and also Zavora and Ray's too, has been to either reflect what you've said to us back upon yourself, asking you for clarification, or to say, did we get this right? And then we also wanted to offer clarification for this and for that. And then we've also created scenarios of how it sounds to us. Like we say, oh, it sounds like this and this and that. And then you say, no, it doesn't. So we're not trying to prove you wrong. Maybe I have said some things to you that I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm just trying to understand it. But I'm also just saying, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I talk to people and I talk to them about magic and Wicca, and they're like, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to you. And I understand that. So go ahead, Zavor. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not entirely sure you're understanding what your own beliefs are. And it's a little scary because it sounds like you're being told these things and just accepting them. Now, I know you're saying that you did research and stuff like that, and you have reasons to draw your conclusions. But, you just keep repeating the same thing as if somehow it's going to make us wrong, and you're just kind of looping around here.
Such as?
That face. That is a troll face. Are you trolling us?
No, I'm just saying such as. Like what? Like, well, give me an example and I'll answer.
Okay, like I just, when I asked you, okay, what you're saying is Christians inherit the earth, you're like, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Of course.
You're
I never said that, because of course they are going to inherit the earth.
Right. So the rest of us don't matter because we're godless heathens, right? We're the sinners that don't accept your God. So we're all going to hell.
Basically, yes, because you don't believe the truth when you hear it. And that's the belief, because you don't believe the truth, because the truth will set you free.
Okay.
Okay, that's a great slogan.
Well,
it's a non sequitur.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Threat to my life.
What?
Do you see how your religion could pose a threat to my life?
How? Who is gonna kill you because you don't believe this way? You live however you want. It has no effect on me. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen anyway. I'm not.
Right.
No one's gonna kill you for what you believe.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it happens all the time.
I'm not going to. I couldn't give a crap.
Yeah, you don't care about what you say, but when we repeat it back to you, you seem to get offended as if we're trying to insult you.
Maybe because 4 people are saying it at the same time.
You don't understand how you're coming off to us.
Yeah, I don't think you understand how you're coming off either.
So, well, all right. Do you think? Does anyone here think that we're going to make any headway talking about this end of the world type prophecy?
No, we've reached an impasse. We need to agree to disagree.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, I appreciate you talking to us, Sniper Boy, but I honestly don't. If anything, talking with you about this has left me feeling that it's reinforced my beliefs. It's reinforced my position of understanding the way that I understand. And so I appreciate that. I thank you for that, because I really want to thank you for that. You really solidified my beliefs. Thank you so much.
I mean, people start to be hard. Whatever.
So it's already like 10:30. So I think it's
1:30.
I think we're all
1:30 over here.
Yeah, we're all getting
Why
pretty
can't we
frazzled.
just have
Yeah, I'm
ice
definitely-
cream and hug?
Huh?
Why can't we just have ice cream and hug?
Why can't we have
Totally can. I'll hug you and give you ice cream.
Thanks, Jag Danyato. I don't know how to say your name. I
Who?
appreciate it. Oh, I have 1 fan in the comments.
Oh, hey, there you go. You got a fan. Somebody's giving you props.
Well, I'll give
Yeah,
you
we should
props
read
for
the comments.
being in a
Like I
room
did
with.
before.
I'll give you props for being in a room with 4 people who disagree with you as much as the day is long and staying civil. I mean, mad props for that.
Remember when I used to be a cheerleader? I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a cheerleader.
Okay.
You said what you said, and I'm done. I wasn't even getting paid. I'm done. We're done. Even
I
though
just
we were
wanna
never
say,
together, we're done.
God loves you. I'm just gonna say, you guys think God like hates you because of this like ultimate end judgment thing, but God does love you.
I don't think.
No, I just think you hate me because you keep
I
telling me off, even though
Are
I'm trying
we-
to be so
I
nice.
just
Are
don't.
we starting this up again?
Okay.
We are all just beautiful people. That's all I gotta say.
No, you can't. You can't end with the last word like that. That's not fair.
No, it's not.
Well, you can if you want, but it doesn't accomplish much.
So, yeah, actually, no, I don't believe that because actually, what you told me, the whole scenario, is that God created the world to destroy it. So to me, that's the reverse of love. I do not see how a deity as omniscient, as powerful as God could possibly do that. To me, that's the epitome of a psychopath. That's sick.
But letting you
So
live your
no,
life
God
as you
does not. If a God, according to your beliefs and the way that you portrayed it to me, sounds absolutely insane. It doesn't make any sense to me. It is literally like a mother killing its own baby. So yeah, no, I don't. I completely reject that.
But you
Not
can live your life as you want though. Isn't that love? Because God could have just as well made you a robot and just could only do one thing. God gave you the freedom to choose and
That
live.
doesn't make any sense. That
Yeah, well,
that's
God could have done all kinds of bad things and he didn't. Well, okay, therefore what?
Yeah,
He's
that doesn't-
letting you live your life.
Choice.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
What? No, I'm saying you make it seem like just because there's that end thing that like God just hates you. He's allowed you to be who you are and choose what you want to choose.
No.
Until I get sent to hell for choosing the wrong thing.
Yeah, if you choose the wrong thing, but he allows you to do what you want. He allows you to do it
Yeah,
though.
that's not a choice. It isn't a choice.
So you're saying just because you can go to hell that it's not a choice, you could still live life.
So all right, okay. Well, first of all, let's do this. Let's do this. Do you guys want to continue to do this for another however long?
No, I don't.
Because what we could do is either we could take a little break, relax, use the restroom, take a drink of water, whatever, and come back in like 5 minutes, or we could put a pin in this and just end this.
I'll
So-
vote put the pin in this. I was just going to stir stuff up.
I'm happy.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, I wasn't to stir stuff up because it's true, but I just kind of wanted to end on a nice positive note.
Oh, okay. So you want to end it? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I think it was good. Maybe we can talk about this another time. But yeah, it's getting pretty late. It's like 10:30 right now, my time.
I'm gonna wash
So-
the derpy Fehu off my head.
No, keep
Yeah, really.
it. Keep it. I like the derpy Fehu. The derpy drunk Fehu. Keep it.
Yes.
Okay,
Derpy
so,
drunk Fehu.
can we do a final word? Is it okay if we just have a final word and end it?
No, let's all
Yeah,
have ice
yeah.
cream and
Okay.
cry. Shut
You
up.
know that
No. Let's end
You-
with ice
you
cream.
know-
Dang it.
I like the final
You
word
know-
idea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna end it. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.